Hello chess enthusiasts, my name is Miha and welcome to my chessrealm YouTube channel. We are in the European Championship again and I found a very nice game between Nidjat Mamedov and Maxime Lagarde. I hope I have pronounced correctly. Anyway, this game was simply amazing. I haven't seen so many tactics for a long time at this level. So in the game, Nidjat Mamedov had white pieces and he started with e4, c5, and we have Sicilian defense, knight to f3, and now we have this e6 variation, knight goes to c3 and knight to c6, so this is classified as French variation. d4 is a pretty common reply, but white goes for the more close Sicilian, bishop goes to b5, attacking knight on c6, so black doesn't want to get double pawns along the c files, so usually knight to d4 is played, but in this game black plays knight to a5, now a4, and now a6, driving the bishop away, so bishop goes back to e2, and now d5. E-pawn captures, e-pawn recaptures, and black has taken over the center, but not for a long time. d4 was played. Well, of course, if black captures, knight recaptures, black gets isolated pawn. Not that it's anything wrong with that, just black apparently doesn't like it, so c4 was played, and now white plays a5, taking over e5 square. Very nice outpost, where black develops his knight to his natural place. With this, black blocks f-pawn, so black won't be able to drive this knight away. So black plays f6 right away. Well, white can simply retreat the knight to f3, but white plays bishop to h5, and from this moment on there is no turning back. It's check. Well, I said the black moves the king to only place, then knight goes to f7, forking both pieces, but not only winning the exchange, this is totally losing for white, because black has to remove the queen. Now knight can jump on d5 and forking anything that happens to be on these squares, so queen can only go to d7, after queen to e2, queen to e6 the only option, knight to d5, queen cannot capture because of the pin, after king to d7, then queen captures, king recaptures, knight to c7, grabbing rook on a8 and also on h8, so totally winning position for white. Okay, so in the game black plays g6. Now both of these pieces are attacked, white cannot remove them all in one move, so white has no other option but to capture on g6, h-pawn recaptures, and now bishop to g6. White has sacrificed knight for two pawns. Well, like I said, there is no turning back. Now white has to attack. King can either go to e7 or d7. Well, if king goes to e7, then white castles king side, and at the very next move, rook gets to harass the black king. So in the game, black plays king to d7, so he won't have to remove king from e file later. And now white captures white captures pawn on d5, knight to e7, knight is coming into the game. White doesn't trade, he wants to keep as much as his pieces for the attack, so knight captures on f6. King cannot go back to e8, but can go either to c7, c6, d6 or e6. Well, actually only c7 and e6 are valid places for black king. Now I cannot go through all the variations as there are many and it's difficult even for grandmaster to calculate them all. Let's take a look. If king goes to d6, then we have bishop to f4 check. Again, king can go either to e6 or c6. Well, if king goes to e6, this loses immediately. It's mate in 4, queen to g4. If king captures knight, then bishop to e5 checkmate. If, however, black protects king with knight, then queen captures on f5, king to e7, knight to g8 check. After rook captures, then queen to f7 checkmate. If, however, this position king goes to c6, then we have this unpleasant d5. If king goes to b6, then it's queen to d4 checkmate. If, however, black grabs knight on e5, then knight captures, and now both sides have three pieces. But if queen captures on d5, then this bishop on e8 is very unpleasant. If black wants to protect his queen, then king to c5, then maybe bishop to e3 with king in the open. Again, I cannot go through all the variations. Computer says it's a winning position for white. Okay, so in the game, black plays king to e6, and now we have queen to g4. Again, black can either capture knight or go back to d6. Let's see, if king goes back to d6, then queen to f4 check. If king goes back to e6, it's queen to e5 checkmate. If, however, king goes to c6, again, this unpleasant d5. After king to b6 is bishop to e3 checkmate. If, however, knight captures, again, knight captures. If queen recaptures, then we have this bishop to e4, gaining the queen. Okay, so in the game, king captures knight on f6. Now white is 2 pieces down, but of course he has these 4 pawns. Still white has to attack with everything he's got. Queen to g5 was played. King can go either to g7 or e6. Well, let's see, if king goes to g7, then bishop to e7 check. Of course, white cannot protect with knight because then it's checkmate. So here black can only go to h7 after queen to h5. If king goes to g8, then queen to f7 checkmate. If black protects with bishop, then queen to h6, king to g8, queen to g5, king to f8, queen to f6. Now black captures bishop and white captures rook. Where for a rook black has 2 pieces, but like I said, white has additional 4 pawns, so white is winning in this position. Okay, so in the game, black plays king to e6. Now queen to e5 check. King goes to d7. Again, white can capture rook on h8, but if now white captures, then it's knight to g6, and now then probably maybe queen to h4 and then queen to e8 defending with check. Well, for a rook, black has now 3 pieces. White has additional pawns, but it's difficult to analyze or evaluate this position as there is a very big material imbalance here, so I'm not going to go any further into evaluation of this position. Okay, so in the game, white plays bishop to f7. Of course, white is threatening with mate in 3. For example, if black plays a random move, then queen to e6, king to c7, bishop to f4. Black can only defend with queen. After queen to d6 is checkmate. Okay, so black plays rook to h4, protecting this f4 square. Now mate is no longer possible. And now white plays d5. Maybe the best option here for black would be to return some material, for example with knight from 8 goes to c6, attacking the queen. Even if white captures, then knight recaptures. Well, here black gets some space here where he can hide, and also bishop can go to d6, protecting the king. But black doesn't see any dangers. Queen to b6 was played, fatal error, and now white plays bishop to e3, attacking the queen, so bishop enters with tempo. Even if black tries to trade queens, and it's bishop to e6 check, king to c7, but now bishop to b6, and king has to abandon his queen. After king captures, then queen recaptures, and king can only go to a7. Yes, black has 3 pieces for a queen, but this is not enough for this position as white has so many additional pawns. So in the game, black plays queen to b4 check. Now c3 defending. Of course, now pawn on b2 is not protected, but if queen captures, then white simply captures king side, rooks are connected, totally winning position for white. For example, if black plays, I don't know, rook to h7, then queen to e6, check, king to d8, queen to d6, black can only protect with bishop, but then bishop goes to e6, threatening with queen to c7 with checkmate. So here black can only capture. After queen recaptures again, I don't know, then white can capture knight, again winning position for white. So in the game, black plays queen to b3, and now the end is near. Queen goes to e6. Well, if king goes to d8, then again queen to d6. If bishop to d7, then bishop to e6. Bishop on d7 is pinned. There is going to be mate. There's nothing black can do about it. So in the game, black plays king to c7, and now white plays d6. Check. Again, there are two options for black king. If king, for example, goes to b8, then the pawn captures on e7. Of course, if bishop recaptures, is queen to e5. After this is checkmate. But even if bishop captures queen, then pawn captures bishop, promoting to queen. So king can only go to c7, then queen to e7, check. Even after bishop to d7, queen captures rook. White is rook up and additional pawns, and it's in totally winning position. Okay, so in the game, black plays king to c6, and now we have mate in 2. I'm sure you will be able to find it. Mate in 2 starts with bishop to e8, check. Black can only play bishop to d7, but then it's bishop to d7, it's checkmate. And realizing this, in this position, Maxime Lagarde resigned the game. So I hope you like this game and that you have learned something from it. If you have any questions, my email is below in the description. Of course, I invite you to visit my Instagram page. That's it for now, and see you soon.